WIBTAH, if I don't tell my spouse the latest information I received about his biological parents? By Grouchy Olive 6628, my 34F husband, 40M, was adopted as an infant. It was an international adoption, with limited information regarding the circumstances of his adoption and his birth parents. His mom, adoptive mother, tragically passed away years ago, and he does not have a relationship with his adoptive father. When we met, he had no interest in reaching out to his biological parents. He expressed disdain for his birth mother, abandoning him, and was quite angry. After his adoptive mom passed away, he started to toy with the idea of reaching out to the adoption agency. For years, he mulled over the idea. He then expressed fear of rejection and stopped talking about it again. He went back and forth on the subject for a few more years. Each time he showed interest, I began learning more about how we could get information if he did decide he wanted to move forward. Late last year, he finally decided he was ready. I submitted the necessary documentation for him at his request. The agency informed us that due to changes in adoption processes in his birth country, they may not be able to process his request, and we might have to wait until September of this year to request directly from the government in his home country. We were pretty disappointed but decided to proceed and see what happened. In April, they reached out again and said they could not fulfill our request. He was upset, and a few days later he said he didn't want to even bother trying to search again in September. Today I received an unexpected email from the agency. They had been able to move forward. His birth mother returned the first letter to sender, a family member received the second letter, and the third letter was hand-delivered to his birth mother in May, and she never reached out. We can assume she does not want to contact him at this point. His birth father, not married to the birth mother and living in a different city, did initially seem open to contact. He exchanged a few text messages with the agency's social worker. Unfortunately, he decided that he, quote, felt bad but did not wish to continue communication. I know this will hurt him to know. At this moment in time, he believes we gave up on contact. WIBTAH, if I just don't tell him? I am torn. I feel he has the right to know, but I fear what the rejection will do to him. I am so disappointed and upset. I knew this was a possibility, but I had hoped they'd at least be willing to exchange a letter or two.
Top comment by judgment_bot_AITHA 1 hour ago. Welcome to /r/AITHA. Please view our voting guide here. https://www.reddit.com/r/AITHA/FAQ #WikiWhat 2019's _with_these _acronyms 3F_what_do_they_mean 3F. And remember to use only one ** judgment in your comment. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. And GT. I might not tell my husband an update I received about his biological parents. I might be the asshole for not telling him, because it's dishonest, and he has a right to know. I might not be the asshole, because it will only cause him pain to hear this update. Help keep the sub engaging. Don't downvote assholes. Do upvote interesting posts. Click here for our rules. https://www.reddit.com/sar/AITHA/about/rules. And click here for our FAQ. https://www.reddit.com/r/AITHA/wiki/FAQ #subreddit announcements. Follow the link above to learn more. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. https://www.reddit.com/message/compose/2=r/AIMTHE if you have any questions or concerns. Times contest mode is 5 hours long on this post. Comment number 2 by Midmay Albertine, 56 minutes ago. Tell him you received further information unsolicited, and ask him if he wants to know.
Someone responds to comment number 2 by name of Nobody 45 minutes ago. Why is this so far down? It is the only sane answer.
Comment number 3 by Old Mama Speaks 25 minutes ago. YPU would be yes, but your husband needs to understand that this part of it may not be about him. There are any number of reasons a child may be placed for adoption. Too young, rape, incest, extreme poverty, to name a few, and any number of things that would make contact now hard or impossible, especially in certain countries. Rape, incapacity, fear, shame, dangerous. Honestly, even if she just plain did not want a baby, things could have been much worse, and at least she made a plan.
Comment number 4 by Comprehensive Population 886 42 minutes ago. Different opinion. My dad once tried to keep an awful/sad family truth from me. Eventually, I ended up finding out anyway. I hugged my dad and told him I really appreciated that he tried to protect me. I honestly wish I didn't know. I wish I didn't pry. The truth hurts me to this day. I guess this is where ignorance is bliss. Normally, I appreciate the truth, and I can handle it. But some things, sometimes, you just are better off not knowing. I would say this applies like once in a lifetime. Maybe this is that one time. Him knowing. It won't change anything except he will feel more hurt. Unless there is some upside. I can't see it, though. Sad for your husband. Red heart asterisk. Also, this exact same thing happened to my grandfather with his own father, and it affected him deeply for his entire life. His father wrote a letter back basically saying, "We don't want to know you. Maybe let your husband maintain his illusion of control, that it was his choice to reject them."
Someone responds to comment number 4 by Jane_Newell 5 minutes ago. This is the kind of thing that, honestly, only OP is on a position to gauge. Some people would want to know and feel betrayed that it was kept from them. Others would prefer this information be hidden from them for their own well-being. I do think that if he decides he wants to move forward, then OP has no choice but to come clean and keep his likely reaction in mind when making this decision. But there's no obviously right or wrong answer. Maybe he deserves to know, but would he even want to know? He might not, and us random internet peeps don't know him to guess.
Comment number 5 by Avocado Jazzlike 3670 32 minutes ago. Major a hole. This isn't for you to gatekeeper. Give him the info immediately. The fact that you came here opposed to him, I find horrifying. I get you want to protect him, but he's a grown man.
First reply on comment number 5 by the original poster. So I was shocked by the email and decided to get advice on how to proceed. As soon as the advice came in, overwhelmingly encouraging me to tell him, I responded a dozen times saying that I will. He has a job. He's not here to talk at the moment. I was collecting my thoughts before he got home. I have gotten some very insightful responses here that have helped me come up with a plan for how I can tell him. Your response was not one of those. But thanks, I guess.
Continuing the conversation by former filterer 6 minutes ago. Your defensiveness is unhelpful and unnecessary. You asked a question. You're getting answers. No one here has no way of knowing when your spouse is available to get the news from you. You're just making yourself look like an even bigger with your responses.
Comment number 6 by Obsesses Obsidian 43 minutes ago. So now everyone knows but him. YTA.
First reply on comment number 6 by the original poster. Everyone? Lol, okay.
A reply to the previous reply by Obsesses Obsidian 31 minutes ago. Glad you think it's a joke. But yeah, you're telling strangers and keeping it from him. That's an move in my book.
Ongoing reply in the thread by the original poster. Nah, I think you are a joke and your comment is stupid. I have responded to almost every comment and accepted that I have to tell him. I've known about this for all of 2 hours, and he's not available to talk. I've said countless times that I do plan to tell him able the email and let him tell me if he wants to know or not. I've said even more times that I know it's wrong to try to keep it from him. Your comment was just not helpful in any way.
Nested response continuing the dialogue by Obsesses Obsidian 21 minutes ago. You ask the question, will I be the AH? So I answered, but sure, I'm stupid and I'm a joke. That's fine by me.
Comment number 7 by Catchy 8457 minutes ago. YWNBTA.
Comment number 8 by this one weird girl 1 hour ago. YTA. You could, however, give them the choice. You could tell them that you have new info. It might be upsetting. Do they still want to know? But you need to tell them there's new info. Someone responds to comment number 8 by the original poster. This is exactly what I'm going to do after reading all of the responses here. Thank you. Continuing the conversation by this one weird girl 35 minutes ago. If they're unsure about it, maybe put the info in an envelope, seal it, give it to them so they can open it when, if they want to, but they still have it either way.
Comment number 9 by auto-moderator 1 hour ago. Carrot, automod, asterisk. Thanks for posting. Read this comment. Do not skim. This comment is a copy of your post, so readers can see the original text if your post is edited or removed. This comment is not accusing you of copying anything. Read it. https://www.reddit.com/r/AITHA/wiki/FAQ #wiki-post-deletion before contacting the mod team. https://www.reddit.com/message/compose 2 equals %2fr%2 Fameth asshole **** my 34F husband 40M was adopted as an infant. It was an international adoption with limited information regarding the circumstances of his adoption and his birth parents. His mom, adoptive mother, tragically passed away years ago, and he does not have a relationship with his adoptive father. When we met, he had no interest in reaching out to his adoptive parents. He expressed disdain for his birth mother abandoning him and was quite angry. After his adoptive mom passed away, he started to toy with the idea of reaching out to the adoption agency. For years he mulled over the idea. He then expressed fear of rejection and stopped talking about it again. He went back and forth on the subject for a few more years. Each time he showed interest, I began learning more about how we could get information if he did decide he wanted to move forward. Late last year, he finally decided he was ready. I submitted the necessary documentation for him at his request. The agency informed us that due to changes in adoption processes in his birth country, they may not be able to process his request, and we might have to wait until September of this year to request directly from the government in his home country. We were pretty disappointed but decided to proceed and see what happened. In April, they reached out again and said they could not fulfill our request. He was upset, and a few days later, he said he didn't want to even bother trying to search again in September. Today, I received an unexpected email from the agency. They had been able to move forward. His birth mother returned the first letter to sender, a family member received the second letter, and the third letter was hand-delivered to his birth mother in May, and she never reached out. We can assume she does not want to contact him at this point. His birth father, not married to the birth mother and living in a different city, did initially seem open to contact. He exchanged a few text messages with the agency's social worker. Unfortunately, he decided that he, quote, felt bad but did not wish to continue communication. I know this will hurt him to know. At this moment in time, he believes we gave up on contact. WIBTAH if I just don't tell him? I am torn. I feel he has the right to know, but I fear what the rejection will do to him. I am so disappointed and upset. I knew this was a possibility, but I had hoped they'd at least be willing to exchange a letter or two. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit /message/compose to =r/AITHA if you have any questions or concerns. Asterisk.
Comment number 10 by MC Susie 18 minutes ago. Why WBTA? You should never have inserted yourself into this, regardless of your assertion that he asked you to do so. Contact with birth parents is a very personal issue for us, and it is completely normal to change your mind about many times. You should never have involved yourself in any way, other than to listen. The story you relay is quite unusual, so unusual that it is suspect. The idea that the agency reversed course so many times, then sent you a surprise communique, and happened to find an adult man's birth father, is a lot. But regardless, the information is not yours. You should not be making any decisions about it. That is incredibly disrespectful to your spouse. Tell him immediately that you received an email from the agency. They were able to reach his birth parents, and that neither is receptive to contact. Ask him if he would like you to forward the email. Next, tell him that you will always support him by listening, and that you will support any future steps he wants to take, but that you will not involve yourself directly in this again.
First reply on comment number 10 by icy_butterscotch 3139 10 minutes ago. Doesn't sound like she inserted herself. Sounds like her husband found it too painful to be the point person on this. My husband has done something similar for me, and I appreciated it to no end. OP, please don't listen to this random person. Listen to your husband who asked you to do this. But no, don't keep it from him. Unless he explicitly only asked you to pass on good news, he has a right to know.
A reply to the previous reply by MC Susie 5 minutes ago. I have a great deal of experience with adoption professionally and personally. I was adopted, and my child was adopted. You don't know what you're talking about, and should be quiet.
Comment number 11 by Lurky Lou, 1987, 1 hour ago. YTA. You never should have read the email without him to begin with. TBH. I get how it could happen, but it was a mistake. It's not fair for you to know this and him not. It'll come out eventually at some point. Anyway, tell him, and be prepared for any reaction under the sun.
Reply number 1 to comment number 11 by the original poster. I agree with you that I should tell him. I don't agree with the first part. He has put me in charge of this. He has given me express permission to handle all correspondences pertaining to this matter. We used my email because he didn't want to be the one to handle the back and forth with the agency. I assumed this was a follow-up from a few months ago, because the agency said they'd reach out at a later date with more information on how to start a new search through the government. I had no idea it would be a real update.
Follow up in the thread by Lurky Lou, 1987, 1 hour ago. You could have stopped reading, and then it wouldn't even be a question. You could lash out at me for my opinion, but the fact that you're even considering hiding this doesn't indicate that you were given carte blanche.
Further response in the discussion by the original poster. Why would I, when he has given me permission to handle this? Lol.
Nested response continuing the dialogue by Lurky Lou, 1987, 1 hour ago. So you wouldn't be in the exact position you are now. I'm the daughter of an adoptee that wants to know her roots, and I haven't searched out of the basic respect of not having information that my parent has indicated they don't want. And it's my blood, too.
More thoughts down the chain by Not the Mama 420-855 minutes ago. You're just wrong. OP is handling the issue, was given permission to handle the issue, and they are using OP's email. OP. You need to just tell him. WIBTAH.
Nested response continuing the dialogue by Lurky Lou, 1987, 51 minutes ago. Handling it poorly by even considering keeping this a secret. Not that secrets ever keep.
Deep reply in the thread by Not the Mama 420-820 minutes ago. I mean, that is true. Good intentions, wrong idea, but you just need to chill a little.
Deep reply in the thread by Lurky Lou, 1987, 16 minutes ago. I'm not unchill, just opinionated. I even said I get how it could happen that she read the email. I think she should have stopped reading, at the very least.
Comment number 12 by Misanthropy _ 1 hour ago. Kindly. YWBTA. You're trying to protect his feelings, I get it, but just be honest with him. What if he somehow finds out down the line that you knew?
Reply number 1 to comment number 12 by the original poster. He would understand, but I would still feel bad. I tell him everything, I just didn't want to hurt him. I'm just going to let him decide if he wants to know the content of the update or not.
Follow up in the thread by Mandy1984 141 minutes ago. That's honestly what I would do. I would tell him I received an email with an update and they were able to fill the request and get in contact with your birth parents. But the update isn't what we were hoping for. So do you want to know the details or not? That way it gives him some information, and he knows the information isn't good. But it gives him the opportunity to decide if he wants all the bad info or to just know it's bad. Update me.
Comment number 13 by Katathemia 57 minutes ago. YWBTA. As others said, he has the right to know. I have lost family out there, and I similarly went back and forth between deciding to contact and not contact, so I know where he's coming from. But my opinion over time changed, at roughly his age too, and while I was also rejected pretty brutally, I'd rather know the truth. Plus, he may change his mind later and needs to know. I know you have good intentions, but the unfortunate issue with a lot of these situations is that they will always hurt, and you just can't escape it or minimize it for the person going through it. I'm sorry you guys are going through this. Because of his age, I wonder if you can ask the agency about contacting them for medical information? It's pretty important, and they might be willing to help with that, I hope. But I'll be honest that it sucks even more when that's refused. I didn't even get that. But I still think it's worth the risk.
Someone responds to comment number 13 by the original poster. Thank you so much for this. You're one of the only people. with true insight into this situation that has been kind. I don't want to be dishonest, I just don't want to hurt him. We knew this was a very real possibility, and it was his biggest fear going into this. I have watched him hurt over this for so long, and I've watched him lose his adoptive mom. I guess for just a minute I hoped I wouldn't have to hurt him by telling him that this wasn't going to end in a good note. I had really hoped at least one family member would have wanted to get to know him. He is such a sweet guy and so doesn't deserve this rejection.
Follow up in the thread by AITHA 15 minutes ago. He doesn't deserve it, and I'm sorry this is happening to you two. I know it's cliché, but therapy really helped me deal with the fallout of that entire situation. It can get better. Good luck. It's sweet. You care about him so much. He's lucky to have you on his side.
Comment number 14 by Rain3LF 1 hour ago. Yes, absolutely. You would be YTA, without a shadow of a doubt. And I say this as a child who was adopted. Yes, it will hurt him, but he has the right to know. You have no right to withhold this information from him.
Comment number 15 by Asian Artist 333 9 minutes ago. You are not an but you should tell him. I feel like people here are being too harsh. As if you've actively kept this information from him for years. I understand why you're torn and where the conflict lies. You seem like a kind person.
Comment number 16 by Peeping Tara 49 minutes ago. Give him the info and offer to help him find a therapist to work through his emotions. Also remind him that while his bio parents don't wish to contact him, that he still has you and everyone else that loves and values him.
Comment number 17 by Ema Hugger Get Over It 34 minutes ago. He's already been betrayed, abandoned, and disappointed. He doesn't need you to jump on the bandwagon. Please tell him.
Comment number 18 by Professional Grade 423 36 minutes ago. You have to tell him, without a doubt. This isn't something you get to shelter him from because you love him. You want to spare him pain, but unfortunately, that isn't your decision this time. He will never forgive you if he finds out you kept this from him.
First reply on comment number 18 by the original poster. I agree that I should tell him. You don't know him though, and he would not hold it against me if I didn't tell him. He would understand that I was trying to guard his feelings.
Continuing the conversation by Professional Grade 423 13 minutes ago. I adore my husband. We have been married 20 years. He is the best partner and parent I could ask for. If he kept this sort of information from me, out of a misguided attempt to spare my feelings, I believe it would change the way I see him in a permanent way. You are coming from a place of love, but it can also be seen as infantilizing him. You need to trust him enough to handle this. Maybe you are right and he would accept that you did it in his best interest. But I think most people would not be appreciative of the lying and deception. A lie of omission is still a lie when it comes to something this big. Based on the overwhelming response to this post, that you need to tell him, I don't think I'm alone in my opinion.
Comment number 19 by Vikers 29 minutes ago. I'm not going to say you're the asshole because I think you're doing this from a place of care and wanting to spare his feelings. But I think it is the wrong move. You know something and are keeping it from him. If he finds out somehow later, he may be upset that you tried to hide this from him. Even though I think what you're trying to spare him is commendable, I would just gently tell him what you found out.
Comment number 20 by the Roadkill Rapunzel 59 minutes ago. Oh honey, he needs to know.
Someone responds to comment number 20 by the original poster. Ugh, I know, sad face. I'm going to let him know there's an update and let him decide if he wants to know what the update is. I just don't want to see him hurting again.
First reply on comment number 20 by soft_brush_1082 30 minutes ago. Absolutely. If he ever finds out, he will feel betrayed by everyone, even by his spouse.
Comment number 21 by Angly FLW 1 hour ago. I am adopted myself, and I would be pissed if my wife hid information about my biological family like this. WIBTAH.
Comment number 22 by West_House_2085 55 minutes ago. I would want to know. I would give him the info.
Comment number 23 by Good_Narwhal_42059 minutes ago. Tell him the truth? What kind of question is that? Why WBTA?
Comment number 24 by Scarlet Not That One 1 hour ago. Info. Suppose that 2 years from now, he decides to try again, and at that time, learns what you know now. Will he be thankful or angry/disappointed that you held back the info?
First reply on comment number 24 by the original poster. I don't believe he will try again. just knowing him and seeing him struggle with this for so many years. He won't be angry and would understand why I didn't tell him. However, I will feel guilty for not telling him anyway. So I'm gonna tell him there was an unexpected update and ask him if he wants to see it or not. I'll leave it up to him.
A reply to the previous reply by Beneficial Way 8742 23 minutes ago. He said he doesn't want to know. Why push the information on him? Don't tell him because you think you know better. Honor his wishes.
Comment number 25 by Witty Resource 2329 1 hour ago. While the information will hurt, he already feels rejected by his parents. It will hurt him far worse to feel he can't trust his wife if the information does somehow come out.
First reply on comment number 25 by the original poster. Yeah, everyone here is right about that. I just don't want to see him hurt again. I know he must carry the feeling of rejection around with him every day, though. I'm going to tell him there's an update and let him decide if he wants to know or not, and then hopefully he'll agree to go to therapy to work through any feelings that get stirred up.
A reply to the previous reply by Witty Resource 2329 39 minutes ago. Your heart is in the right place. Be there for him as best you can, and let him know he always has someone he can depend on.
Comment number 26 by Muffpiece 27 minutes ago. Yeah, you need to tell him. I'm sure it's painful, but he has a right to know.
Comment number 27 by Careless_Welder_4048 1 hour ago. Girl, tell him. The truth always comes out sooner or later. You know him best. Would he feel betrayed by you for keeping this secret?
Someone responds to comment number 27 by the original poster. He wouldn't, but I will feel guilty, so I'm going to tell him anyway. I just don't want to see him hurt. I really wish this had gone another way, but at least he can try to find some closure now, I guess.
Follow up in the thread by Business Garbage 348 minutes ago. You need to tell him. It's not you hurting him, so no need to feel guilty. But it might do him some good to get into therapy at some point.
Comment number 28 by Matthew_Birdsey 51 minutes ago. You need to tell him. He deserves the truth.
Comment number 29 by What's-Her-Name 235 minutes ago. Of course, YTA. Think of the most emotional thing in your life and how you would feel if he kept information from you about it. It's gonna hurt. But as a partner, you are there to cushion the blows and to be the person to support him. You have advance notice and can make it as gentle as possible. If you hide it, you're betraying him.
Comment number 30 by middle_process_215 26 minutes ago. The truth is always best. Always.
Comment number 31 by No_Jaguar67 1 hour ago. It's not your story. He deserves answers even if they are shitty. YTA.
Comment number 32 by Love Me Too, BYZ 12 minutes ago. As an adoptee, YTA. It's not your story and not your information to keep. He needs to know.
Comment number 33 by OK_top_7535 57 minutes ago. If OP telling the husband the truth, he will feel that he is being abandoned again. Sometimes no news is better than the bad news. That's the reason why it took so much time for OP's husband to decide whether he should reach out, because he didn't want to feel being abandoned again. NTA.
Reply number 1 to comment number 33 by First Dress 9893 44 minutes ago. Are you adopted? I ask because I am, and I just don't see this happening. I believe it will give him some closure. Sometimes you just need to know, even if you don't like what you find out.
Comment number 34 by Oak Boysenberry 1975 37 minutes ago. Yes, I know you want to protect him, but if he finds out you knew and didn't tell him, he will be even more upset with you. You don't need to tell him. Hand him the letter and tell him it just came recently. It's a tough situation, but he really is better off knowing the truth, so he can at least get closure.
First reply on comment number 34 by the original poster. Everyone keeps saying this. The thing is, I know my husband. He would understand why I didn't tell him. He would not be upset with me. We have been together a long time, and I tell him everything, but he knows me, and would know exactly why I didn't want to tell him. He has been through a lot, and I just wanted to save him from further hurt. I resent the comment saying he's a big boy and can handle this. That may be true in theory, but he's the kindest man I've ever known, and I hate to see him in pain.
Continuing the conversation by Oak Boysenberry 1975, 1 minute ago. I understand you're wanting to protect him from pain. I get it. I really do, and I respect you for caring for your husband. I just have one question. If the situation were reversed, would you want to know, even if it would hurt? Finding out hurts once, and it's a confirmation of what he's always believed, even though he may hope it's not the case. Not knowing hurts every time you think about it. Of course, the same statement can be made for knowing, but eventually the pain from knowing will start to dull.
Comment number 35 by First Stress 9893, 45 minutes ago. I appreciate that you don't want to hurt him, but you need to at least give him the option of having the info. I'm an adoptee myself, and sometimes you just need closure even if it's negative. My bio mom was excited for contact, and we have a great relationship, but my bio dad still refuses to admit that I exist. He tried to force her to abort me, and he never acknowledged that I actually exist. I did manage to find out through a half-sister, who looks so much like me, that this isn't off-brand behavior for him, that he has done it to others. Also that he now has a TBI from a motorcycle accident, so even if we did attempt to force a meeting, he would likely have no way of really understanding what's happening. It's upsetting, yes, but now I have closure that I'm grateful for. I have people who love me, and if he isn't included in that, well, it is what it is. He deserves to at least have the option to know, and if it even came out that you concealed this from him, it would destroy his trust in you no matter how well-intentioned you are.
Comment number 36 by Sufficient Traffic, 12 minutes ago. No, I don't think you would be the to not mention it. I would keep the letter, and if he decided to try again, let him know you received this a while back, and give it to him. He still believes he's in control, and has made this decision for himself, in a way he has. No reason to hurt him when he currently isn't ready for contact anyway.
Comment number 37 by Rhymes with Purple 4:32 minutes ago. I think this is a NAH, but why don't you tell your husband that you respect, that he does not want to pursue more information, and ask what he would like you to do if you were to hear back from the agency. Then you'll have your answer.
Reply number 1 to comment number 37 by the original poster. This is exactly what I plan to do. I think it's the best way for me to be forthcoming but still give him a choice if he wants to know or not.
Comment number 38 by Wolf Goddess 77 1 hour ago. YTA. He has a right to know. It's his biological parents. He's a big boy. I'm sure he'll be able to handle whatever comes of it. I understand not wanting to upset him further, but you can't hide this information from him. If you do, and he somehow learns about it later on, learns that you kept it from him, what do you think that will do?
Reply number 1 to comment number 38 by the original poster. He would probably understand that I kept it from him because he was so flip-floppy about a search in the first place. That doesn't mean I should keep it from him, and I won't. I will tell him tonight.
Comment number 39 by Medieval Queer 1 hour ago. Yes, YTA. Or would be. He deserves to know, and if you kept a secret like this, it will always find a way to come out at some point down the line. It is far kinder to tell him now so that he can process those emotions currently than decades later, when he will feel much worse that you kept it from him all that time. Just tell him. Be there for him. Hiding it is not the act of a trustworthy partner.
Reply number 1 to comment number 39 by the original poster. I guess it feels more difficult because the news was unexpected. We thought they had given up on contact. We were no longer waiting for a response. I know I need to tell him. I just wish it didn't have to be such horrible news.
Continuing the conversation by MC Susie 15 minutes ago. Dude, come on. This is why you should not be involved in this. Learning that birth parents are not available for contact is not tragic. It is often a huge relief, even to people who searched, because they thought they wanted info/contact. Stay out of it. You are clueless in the extreme.
Comment number 40 by Mama Mako 1 hour ago. WIBTAH. I think it would be even more upsetting if he found out that information later down the line for some reason, and find out that you knew. I'd probably ask him something like, "We've received an email from the agency. Do you want to know?" Quote.
Reply number 1 to comment number 40 by the original poster. Thank you for this. I think I was shocked that we got an update that I was not anticipating, and it had to occur to me to just ask him if he wants the update. Seems so obvious, but I really hadn't thought to just do that. This is what I will do.
Follow up in the thread by Crooked Frame 1348 minutes ago. I think you should just tell him. If you go about it this way, and he says no now, he could change his mind later and been thinking this whole time they did want some contact with him, but he just wasn't ready. Then if he asks about it later, it'll lead to the same place, or even more upsetting, you're just banking on him never asking again, but he's been flip-floppy this whole journey.
Comment number 41 by Wino123 43 minutes ago. YYWBTA. You have zero right to gatekeep his information. He has a right to know, and as a grown-up, deal with it. Life is hard, and you have no right to keep his life from him.
Comment number 42 by Cats Cause Tornadoes 44 minutes ago. I genuinely understand the impulse to protect him, but it isn't appropriate. YWBTA.